We're live. Yay! Oh, my people. I just want to you see this right here? We just stepped into the magic.
No, it's okay.
We just stepped into the magic in this beautiful place. Yes, honey, this beautiful place. Hi, my love. Hi, Hannah. So we are literally, girls, we're here in my favorite fucking spot under this tree, okay, with one of my beautiful clients, a Stephanie client and friend, and we actually went to high school together. HML 05. Can you figure out my age or
You're giving it away.
Damn, I'm giving it away. Okay, well, anyways, 05 right here from the 305.
Yes. I don't tell people that anymore. I'm I'm Broward. I'm from 954 now.
Oh my God. Anyways, my love, so we're just flowing because we're here, and we just had a beautiful experience. And Stephanie just she went into the safety, what I call the safety, the trust. I'll let her describe a little bit of it, but I just wanted to, I know how much hearing other people's experience helps, and I just love to share and inspire and, I don't know, just be here, have a girl talk. This is what this is about, being really vulnerable and open and flowing and trusting and being okay with coming on live if you have tears, and being okay if I'm wearing the same clothes from yesterday and all the fucking things, but we are on today's number 15, session 15. We have 3 sessions left. But it's continuing because
yes.
she's going to be in the group container, and we're continuing because we're in massive transition right now. Yes?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So we're just here, and this is a Stephanie, and we've been working together for almost 6 months now. And she came to me. I'm going to let her tell you how she came to me. And then I'm going to let her tell you all the things, whatever wants to come through to her. And here she is, this beautiful girl right here. Oh, yes.
So first of all, this girl is a blessing. a blessing. And she came into my life in divine timing, and when God and the universe knew that I needed her the most. I've been on a journey for the last 5 years already. I always keep saying 4, but no, we're already in year 5. Where I, had a big heartbreak, and it was one of the toughest times in my life, but it's what kind of opened everything. And I was, for the last 4 years, on my own, trying to figure out, how could I address these issues and all these emotions that started coming up, and all these things from my childhood and past relationships and everything. And I did therapy. I tried whatever resource was available to me. I did, and there was a lot of growth, but there was also a lot of pain, and I really wasn't guided by somebody that had gone through something similar. We just obviously take what we see that is available, and obviously we talk to our friends and everything, but it's something so different when you have someone that can hold your hand and that can guide you. Because I remember the first session, I was so desperate. She was how are you feeling? And I had rushed out of work so that I could get in my car so that I could have a Zoom with her, because I had zero privacy at my house. Sorry, my nose, I was crying over here. And I remember I was just so overwhelmed and anxious, and it was just all these emotions. And we went to high school together, but we didn't really know each other like that. And this was the first time I had talked to you or seen you in, Zoom. And when she asked me, what I was feeling, I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were going to talk about so what are your traumas and what's your childhood? But no. Alone, myself, just coming to my center and slowing down my breath and doing that I had never done before, right? Because I was always working on external things that I needed to fix. I felt I needed to fix my relationship with, my father, my relationship with my kids, my relationships with other people, external factors, my environment, but I never looked within. And all along, that was the part, that was missing. And that's why I always felt like I was hitting a wall, because I was doing the work and I was doing the things that I needed to do, but I kept on going back to the same patterns, going back to the same decisions that I knew were not good for me, but I would still continue to do them. So first session with Vane, she's like, okay, well, just close your eyes and let's, breathe. And I was like, what? But you don't know anything of what's going on. You're like, no, just breathe. And then you're like, I was like, okay. And she's like, what do you feel? I was like, I don't know. But it has been such an amazing journey, because in that moment right there where I was sitting in my car, I remember I just started sobbing, and I was just like, my body felt tired. Like I felt tired, I felt exhausted, and it wasn't a physical exhaustion, it was an emotional exhaustion, and of years of carrying around pain and emotion. And I just want to share, that these sessions have allowed me to be able to feel safe and to open up, right, and listen to my heart, right? And I remember we talked about like our skeletons, right, in our closet, and all those emotions that we don't want to feel, because we don't want to feel shame, we don't want to feel hurt, we don't want to feel, regret. All those things that we push away, those are actually the things that we need to tend to, and those are the things that we need to feel. And I wasn't doing that for a really long time, and with her in these last 6 months, I've gone more inward than I ever have before, and the growth and the results and the reward have been amazing, because like I finally listened to myself, right? I was always wanting everybody to listen to me. I wanted my parents to listen to me, my significant other to listen to me, but I wouldn't listen to myself. And that's the most important thing, guys, that you have to listen to you, to your heart, to what your heart says, what your body says, because all the answers are within us. And she has taught me that.
Yeah, so can we give like a a fucking group like magical energetic hug right now for all this beautiful vulnerability and like love that is pouring through her, and truth. And yeah, girls, this is the gift. This is the gift that is resting in your heart, waiting to be awakened inside of you. The love that you're searching for is inside of you. The trust that you're searching for, the safety that you're trusting for is inside of you. And it's such a beautiful gift. It's a gift that has been given to you by Source, Creator, God, Universe, whatever word you choose, whatever word you connect to. And this all happens because a woman chooses to say yes to herself. Like when I talked to Stephanie back then, it's she was in a space where she was like desperate. Were you desperate?
I was so desperate. Like I remember, like I did, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but I was so desperate. Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this, because I'm going to invest in myself, and for once choose myself. And I had also heard other experiences from close friends. They were the ones that also referred me to Vanessa, and I've seen their beauty and their transformation, and women that I thought were on top of the world, and they are, right? Because a lot of the girls that you come across are strong, independent women, women that I've been a single mom for several, my daughter is 15, so like 13 years of her life I was a single mom with 3 kids, and I was always go like. And I remember when I came to her, I was so desperate, because I felt like I was dying inside. I felt like I was dying inside. Like I had no purpose. Like everything that I was doing, I was going in the motions. I was constantly in my masculine, which I didn't know anything about that until I met her. So you'll definitely learn about that. And I wasn't honoring my feminine. I didn't know what it was to just relax and flow, to be at ease, to feel these emotions. I didn't, because it was always go, survival mode. And it's a life-changing journey, and it's something that I told you, I was like, you're stuck with me forever. Because
she's a lifer. We call them lifers. Okay,
a lifer, because I can't imagine not doing this practice every single day.
Yeah, and it's so most of the women that come to me, that come to me, that are attracted to me, have tried a lot of things, right? They have tried a lot of things, but they have that hole inside of them, or that gnawing feeling, or that desperation, or that exhaustion, or that overwhelm, or that go, where it's like, oh my God, Vanessa, I'm like anxious, or I'm depressed, I'm stuck, I'm like icky, I'm like panicking. It's like, and all those feelings are okay, my loves, and they're just signs, they're symptoms of disconnection from your own heart and soul. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. They are symptoms of being disconnected from your own heart and soul. Okay, and 5 years ago, I had no idea that my heart was anything more than an organ and a muscle beating inside my chest, but I was in the worst panic and fear of my life. And it's so beautiful because when these girls, women come to me, it's like there's a piece of me in each and every one of my clients, and it just makes it so much more healing for me and so much more special, because I'm like, wow, man, I remember what it felt like to fucking feel like that. I remember what it felt like to feel I'm just surviving. I'm surviving, and I'm like in this energy, and I think something's wrong with me. Because for a very long time, I thought something was wrong with me. And Stephanie, not coincidentally, because this is all divinely guided, she has that.
That has been one of my biggest struggles, and actually what we kind of just
went into today.
That, you know, I felt like something was wrong with me, and that, you know, why did I have the emotions, you know, why did I feel the emotions that I was feeling, why did I have the thoughts that I was having. And I actually, you know, with the therapy and traditional medicine, you know, like I was prescribed antidepressants, like I was put on these things, and I remember when Vanessa and I spoke about it, you know, she made a comment, and she, you know, that resonated with me, because why do we get to that place, right? Why do we get to the point where that's what seems to be the solution? You know, oh, something's wrong with you because you have a chemical imbalance, blah, 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 blah. You know, here we are, we're going to give you medication to mask that, right? But we're not working on the inner root of the problem. We're not working on the cause of the problem. And if we were to listen to ourselves, and we were to listen to our heart and honor our emotions, then we wouldn't feel the disconnect, we wouldn't feel the anxiety, we wouldn't feel the deep sadness, because it's a deep sadness, you know, to feel like life is just passing you by, and it's such an opposite, right? Because you mentioned, like, she can see how she felt like that, how she was like that years ago. I'm a baby compared to her. I'm a baby in this journey, but I can compare and contrast the days, you know, where I was feeling like that, and then days like today, right, where I feel alive, and I feel inspired, and I feel loved and safe and held, and like, you know, we're here like with the breeze and looking at the sky, and there's so much more beauty to life, that I have had days where I could be in this beauty, and for me the world is dark, you know, and my mind is cloudy and shadowy, and that's not a life to live.
Yeah. Oh, my love. So, you know, I was saying about choosing yourself. It all comes down to the fact, to the moment when you decide to choose yourself, and you decide to say, no more. I can't do this by myself. I can't do this alone. I need help. I need support. And reaching out and doing the thing, right? You know, and, you know, I want to go back to that moment when you decided, like, you had to sit with it for a night, I think, right? And then what was that moment of, like, you just coming into, like, investing in yourself?
Yeah, it was something that I had never done before, because we're always, you know, focused on everybody else and worried about everybody else. And if I had to, like, spend on my kids' soccer or spend this, that's a no-brainer. But then
we're doing a live on Instagram. Can we have like 10 more minutes? Okay, we're going. Thank you. So we're gonna walk and talk. Anyways, so guys, this is what happens. Like, God, mini cops, not very nice over here. Anyways, what was I saying?
So
we're
that,
vibing. We're not stopping here. Okay.
So I can talk to them if you want to hold the phone.
There you go.
So you know, in anything that you guys want to get better at, right? If you want to get better at in your fitness, you hire a physical trainer, right? If you want to get your house fixed, you hire whatever, a fashion interior or contractor or whatever. But we never think about, like, or at least for me in the past, I never thought of, you know, investing in myself, like in my own mindset or, you know, personal development. That's something that has been open to me now after my relationship with Vanessa, where I see the value and the reward and the return of investing in yourself. So when we first had the conversation, you know, and we had that one session, and then she told me, okay, well, this is how we can work together.
Can I get in the car?
Sure. When she told me, you know, that this is how we can work together, it was something that was foreign to me. I'll put the phone right here.
Yeah. This is how you flow, people. This is how you flow. We got kicked out by a cop. That's okay.
That's fine. So
we're continuing the journey.
It was an investment. I had never invested in myself. So we had the session, and then you told me, okay, think about it, let me know tomorrow. And I remember that a lot of thoughts started coming to my mind, right? I was like, well, it was uncomfortable for me to say I'm gonna invest money on myself. And then I was like, well, can I afford this cost? What is my boyfriend going to say? But I just remember that I said, you know what, no, I don't want to stay stuck anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. And I have seen, the testimonies. I have seen the work, that she's done. I have seen how my own friends, have benefited from it. And I was just like, I'm going to take a chance on myself. I'm going to take a chance on myself. And, we agreed to work together. And I never looked back. And I was literally talking to her about it today. Like how, we're almost 6 months in. And I didn't even notice, or even feel that it was a cost and expense, something that made it challenging for me. No, because we spend money on things that are not important and things that are not worthless. That are not, worthy, and that we don't really get something in return. But what I have gotten in return from Vanessa is invaluable, priceless, and I told her that I'm her client for life.
So yeah, my loves, this is it's such magic when women come together. And that is something that I learned years ago when I hired my coach and I became a part of her institute. And I did, I was part of a group of women who were on the same journey, and I didn't feel alone anymore because I had for so long felt so alone in my suffering and everything I was feeling, and I didn't feel safe to share what I was feeling with other people. And I also thought something was wrong with me, so there was a lot of shame around what I was feeling, and then that also stopped me from sharing. So I know how big the sister wound is right now collectively, okay, because I suffered from it, and I was actually a big part of it because all of you people who know me from high school, I was very shut down in high school. It was I was the bitch. Straight the fuck out.
I do remember that.
Okay?
I was scared of her.
Yeah, you see? I was very guarded, and that was my coping mechanism because I had suffered a lot in childhood. I had a very abusive stepfather, and I didn't have a good relationship with my father, and there was a lot of things that went into that, but I didn't know that because they were in the shadow, they were in the subconscious. But I knew back then that I had to protect myself, and that's how I was raised, thinking that I had to protect myself and not let anyone in. So I walked around with this armor on top of me, and I was the bitch, and that was one of my personas because I wanted to reject people before they rejected me. So that was how I coped, right? And to have such an experience of a transformation within the last 4 years of when I hired my coach, it was my whole world turned around. I no longer suffered from anxiety. I was no longer having panic attacks. I had a fissure that healed. I could feel my heart. I didn't have that heaviness on my chest anymore. I didn't have that burning hole that I wasn't breathing like that anymore. And it was oh my God, something's happening. I'm shifting. And it was just all the things that I've learned, and all the things that I've been through. It was everything was coming together and everything was softening within me. And I no longer needed that armor. I didn't need that armor to protect myself anymore because my own wounds were being seen with my love, right? And they were being heard by my support and my mentor, and I was learning that it was safe to be me, who I really was.
Yes.
That I didn't need to pretend to be somebody else, that I was actually accepted for who I was. And that's a big part of this journey, is that we learn very young that we're not okay as we are, that we're not accepted. And that starts to break us, and I call them heartbreaks. They're mini heartbreaks that you start to suffer along the way. And it's that wound, and it's that hurt, and it's as we go through life and as we get older, we stop feeling really to deal with that heartbreak. We stop feeling, and as women, your radiance, my love, as a woman is in your heart. It's in your heart. Your beauty is in your heart. Your expression, your sensuality, your pleasure, your happiness, your true fulfillment and wholeness. Yes, it is in your heart. And if you can't feel your heart. So how much is going untouched? How much is going unloved? How much is going unseen? How much is going unheard? A lot. And we were talking today, I was telling her, I was like, the deeper you go, the higher you fly. And that is something that I learned this year. Because I went through a huge breakup this year. Huge heartbreak this year. And I had to go even deeper into the depths of me, because everything my ex was covering, all the wounds and the fear of being alone and all these things, when he was removed from my life, oh, that shit came up. And knowing what I know and how to process and be with myself, I had to go there. There was no other choice, because I know that when my feelings call on me, they're calling on me for a reason. That heartbreak needed to be tended to. The wounding of not feeling enough, the wounding of not feeling chosen, the wounding of not being accepted was all there. And it was like, I have this process, what I've gone through, what I teach, what I share is to drop, to feel, and to deepen, and to awaken. Because your heartbreak, any heartbreak, whether it's a partner, whether it's your dad that disowned you, whether it's a death, whether it's like the girls that bullied you when you were younger, they're all little heartbreaks, and they're all living inside your tender, beautiful little heart. And all those heartbreaks can be your greatest awakening to the truth of who you are. And now my beautiful love here is experiencing that. She's experiencing that peace, that inner peace, that freedom, that calmness, that safety within, where it's like, oh my God, I am not the shame and the guilt that I felt for so long, right? And I want you to just share a little bit like of what you've come into now, like what you're feeling now that we're here 6 months later. So sending it back to her.
Too close. When you were saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking about, how like different my relationship with myself is now, right? That even like I was telling her, I was feeling something yesterday, a little off, and I didn't know why, and my initial reaction would be to just ignore it and keep pushing about my day. But now it's like I tend to my heart, right? I stop and I listen, because I know that if it goes unheard, it's going to surface again at some point. And it's going to build and build and build. And that was one thing from the beginning, from our first session. It was that like my emotional pipes were clogged. And that's what would cause like that, frustration and that anxiety and all those things. But anyways, that's not the space that I'm in anymore, because now, and it's a journey, right? Nobody's perfect, and every day you come back to yourself, and every day you choose yourself all over again. But now, like, there's moments where I'm like alive and I choose myself, and I've like realized like, wait, like there's so much more to me, to who I am, to what I can be, to what I can do, to what I can say to others, right? So not only have I changed with other people, I was telling her, I was giving a friend advice the other day, and I felt like I was a mini Vanessa, because I was like, this is for a reason. You have to listen. Like, what is it really teaching you? But I'm also like in a transition period where we were talking about, where like I no longer want to play small, and I no longer want to let other people determine, who I am or who I can be. Like, I've been able to remove those thoughts from my head, and the fears and the doubts always come back, but that's when you choose yourself, and when you say no. Like, I know who I am. I am the daughter of the divine. I have power and I have magic inside of me, and that you feel this comfort and you feel this peace where like I want to change the world, and we can all change the world, one person at a time, beginning with ourselves. And you can be in that space where you choose yourself, you love yourself, you forgive yourself, because we make mistakes every single day, but we, on our journey of healing, we heal others, because myself being a mother, and I feel like this is for me so that I can pass it on to my daughters, and I can teach them how to choose themselves first, and not allow these little heartbreaks that we experience through our childhood, which I'm sure they have already at this point, because I was a wounded person myself, right? But I want to heal so that I can then help my daughters be on the same journey, and my son. And also, like, I feel like my mother herself sees this growth in me,
and I can help her as well. So it's a beautiful gift. And it's just it's completely life-changing, because as someone that would always like second guess herself, I would always doubt my decisions, I would always, you know, be afraid of making the wrong decisions. Now I know that there is no wrong decision. If I feel peace in my heart, and if I know that that's what I'm meant to do, meant to say, you know, it will flow and doors will open. And if, you know, I go this way and something happens and I get directed this way, is because that's what is meant to be. And that's where God wants me to go, and that's where I will listen and I will follow.
We could just do this all day, couldn't we?
We could.
Yeah. So, all right, let me feel if there's anything else I want to ask. Okay, I have something. What would you tell the women out there that are like feeling inspired, they're scared, they haven't invested in themselves before, they haven't ever had a coach, they haven't ever gone into their inner world, maybe they're like dealing with a lot of feelings, or they're feeling stuck, or they feel like they're sacrificing themselves, and you know, and they're just like on the edge, and they know something needs to change, but they're scared, and they're like, what would you say to them about like doing the thing or choosing themselves? Like, what would you say to them?
Girl, I got exactly what I'm going to tell you. Because it's something that I wish somebody would have told me, you know, a long time ago. And don't waste time trying to do it on your own, trying to break your head, right? If you don't have the guidance of someone that has been through the same journey and has had, you know, hit those roadblocks and themselves have done the work, you know, it's so much easier when you have someone to lead the way. And honestly, like, I was going through it for, you know, more than 4 years, and 4 years was too long, because it's not going to go away. If anything, that feeling that you have is going to get stronger, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder, where you're going to feel like you're drowning, because you need to do something. Something has to give, something has to change. And honestly, like, that's not something that could be sustainable for the rest of your life. Like, you cannot, because it's going to surface in other ways. You know, our mental and emotional state comes and shows up in the physical. So, you know, I started having health issues, I started having hormonal issues, I started having all these different things, you know, and I didn't know why. And I've been able to see, not only in me, but I've seen in my mother, in my grandmother, like how their lives and them not dealing with trauma and not dealing with, you know, the inner emotions, how it has manifested in the physical. And not only does it manifest in the physical, like I said, it also impacts those around you. So you start, you know, hurt people unintentionally, but it happens. And you know, one thing that I also was noticing was that, like, the same things that caused me to have certain traumas from childhood, and I have amazing parents, but it was just their beliefs, right, and what they were taught, and how they were taught to manage emotions, and how they were taught to speak, you know, to their children. I realized that although that caused me pain and caused me, you know, a lot of wounds as a child, I was being the same way with my daughter, because I didn't know any better. And those are things that we carry from generation to generation to generation. And if you want to, like, stop the hurting, if you want to stop the pattern, if you want to, you know, save your kids from it, right? Because I remember I heard one time this girl say something, and it stuck with me so much, that it was like, we need to do the work, and we need to get the medicine that we need to heal ourselves, because if not, these things are like parasites, and parasites jump from one host to another to another. And she specifically said, you know, and she was like, and guess who is going to receive that parasite and that poison if you don't do the work that you need to do? It's going to be your children. And our children are the things that we love the most. And I don't ever want my daughters, you know, or my son to grow up. And we were just talking about how, like, I felt like I didn't start living or feeling and acknowledging my feelings and my emotions until 4 years ago. And I'm 34. So for 30 years, after going through pregnancies, childbirth, you know, marriage, divorce, relationships, heartbreak, breakups, family, you know, death of family members, all those things, I didn't ever process those emotions. And not only was I blocking the bad emotions, but I also was blocking the good emotions because I was not present and in tune with myself. So I didn't enjoy the good times, and the bad times I tried to, you know, suffocate and suppress, but they just kept adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. So don't wait, because it's going to be more work that you have to do, you know, more hurt that you'll have to heal. And we're not meant to live a life like that. We're not meant to live a life like that. And it's so much beautiful on the other side. I promise you. And I mentioned to Vanessa so many times that I was like, it's hurtful and it hurts to see, because then you start realizing how everybody around you is carrying some pain and carrying some hurt, and you start realizing how their reactions and how they react to other people has nothing to do with the other people. It has to do with us, you know. And I've heard that saying before, and it's so true, you know, that people's reactions towards you, like, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So you won't regret it. It's going to be the best investment of your life. And like I said, I don't want to stop this journey. I want to continue learning, continue growing. And you know, you have to choose yourself. You have to choose yourself first. It was exactly what we just talked about right now in our session, that I said, I choose me, and I choose me first. Before I can expect anyone else to choose me, I need to choose me. Because once I accept myself and love myself for who I am, I can be authentically myself. And the people that are going to love and accept me, those are my people. And the people that are not, those are not my people.
Yeah, I want you to share with them what you felt laying down over there in our session.
Oh my God. Okay, so like from the beginning or the end?
Okay, so let me answer real quick. Okay, so we had a session right on the water. And it's so beautiful because as I continue to drop into my heart and deepen in trust, new parts and pieces of me are coming to life. And one of them is my wisdom keeper, the inner healer that I have. And it's beautiful because when I have women in session, there's a lot of different tools that I use, but we use essential oils, we use toning, making sounds, anointing her, just movement to start to move these stuck emotions. And I want her just to give her experience of how that felt receiving that, and also as we do the embodied work, which is really feeling and working in the realm of the heart and the soul. So yeah, I want you to share whatever comes through, whatever you felt, like how that was for you.
Okay, so we always start our sessions will be like to breathe in, breathe out, so that I can get out of my mind, because we're always in our mind. So I just lay down, close my eyes, breathe out, and I just start paying attention, right, with Vanessa's guidance, paying attention to my body and what am I feeling at that moment in my body. And as soon as I laid down, I started feeling like I had like this, this pressure in my womb. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm laying down like uncomfortably. So I even like adjusted myself. I was like, maybe it's me. But I was, in a relaxed state, and every other part of my body felt relaxed except like my center. And, as we continued with the breath work and with the toning, you start doing a deep listening and analysis of like, what is your heart saying to you? What are you feeling? And in that moment, things started coming up and things started surfacing. And as we started talking about them, I was able to stay with that emotion and process it and feel it and cry, right? Because that's when that comes up, like you have to, it's therapeutic and it's soothing and it's cleansing, for you to let that water out, let it soothe you. And as Vanessa's like helping me and guiding me, and we're using the oils, and we're using just like movement to kind of loosen things up. By the end of the session, I felt this relief, like I felt a surrender, which was the word that I used. This surrender in my entire body. I no longer felt that like congestion in my womb. And we were talking about an emotion that I struggle with, which sometimes is shame and guilt. And she asked me, where do I think shame is found in our body? And it's crazy because it's found in the womb, and I told her, I was like, how is it possible for us to feel shame in the same place where we have magic? Like, women create life in our womb, but society and the world and our upbringings and everything, like, they want to keep us stuck in that shame. And at the end of the session, I felt like this overwhelming peace and this overwhelming just like release, because I feel like I did release some of that, to where I was already feeling like, maybe in my mind, right, I still have some of those thoughts, but my heart no longer has those thoughts. Like, my heart tells me, that like it's going to be okay, that I just have to choose myself. And then I told her, I was like, I want to cry, but it's like happy tears. And it was just like this emotion that just overflowed, and I was crying, like boohoo crying, because it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing of how much we are loved, of how special we are, how magical each and every one of us is. And for us to walk around like zombies, or for us to walk around like we're dead, and we're we don't have anything to give, that's a lie. It's a lie. And that's why this work that Vanessa does, and she was also saying, like, this is why I love what I do, and why I know God wants me to do this, because that's what God wants. Right? He created us as beautiful, beings in His image, and there's no reason for us to feel shame. There's no reason for us to feel guilt. There's no reason to feel any of those emotions. And that love, again, that we search for outside from everybody, that's the love that we have to give ourselves. And that's where I am in my journey of just like, I just want to love myself unconditionally, no matter what. And yeah, that's what we found today.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you, babe.
Okay, my love. So just wanted to give you guys a little treat, because I know that there's a lot of you out there that have reached out to me and are interested in the work I do, because maybe you've heard someone's referred me. Actually, a lot of my girls are all referrals, and shout out to Vane, because she's like Queen Bee over here. She's my fucking like publicist for real, and she's like an angel to me. I'm like, God, thank you for this woman. But I wanted to give you girls like a little treat, like just to remind you that there's other women in this world that are feeling the same things. Our feelings are not wrong. Our feelings are guiding us, right? And I teach women how to feel. I give women permission, through my own permission of self, to feel, to drop into your heart and to go inwards. And I guide women inwards so that they can uncover what's like, within them, the truth of who they are, their real expression, like who they really are underneath all the shame and the guilt and the heartbreaks and the wounding that we all have, because we've all been hurt, right? And if we don't know how to emotionally process, then we go turned off in life. We go like dense. We go like we're missing our spirit body. We're not like connected to the heart and the heart of God and the heart of the universe that's within us, that really taps us into our co-creative powers with the divine. And right now, Stephanie, like, her second transition is now actually stepping out of her 9-to-5 job, which is like eating her away, eating her alive. And now she wants to create something fucking magical where she's living in soul alignment. And that is what this journey is about. It's like getting all the gunk out of the way that you've been dealing with and suffering with. And really, when you get the gunk out of the way, you land in your heart, you land in the trust and the safety, and you land in who you are. And you're like, oh my God, actually, this is what I want. I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to create this, and I want to share this, and I want to inspire. And you find that passion and that purpose within you that you've probably been going your whole fucking life without, because you're doing everything everyone else told you to do, yet you feel empty inside, my love. So there's so many treats and gifts in this journey, and I wanted to share that with you, because I am currently launching for my next group container, and it's going to be 6 months with me, and Stephanie's going to be there. She's in. Yes. And I have a bunch of women. First one in. Yeah, I have a bunch of women that are ready to do the work and ready to dive deep. And I, in group container, like, it is something that turns me so fucking on, because it's like, my juice and my medicine gets to come through, and it's like, yeah, it's a fucking party, and I get so excited. And then we're gonna have a girl party, and we're gonna have a heart party, and we're gonna go within, and we're gonna learn how to feel, and we're gonna deepen, and we're gonna awaken, and we're gonna have a huge fucking party, my loves. And like, you know what I was telling Stephanie about? I was like, this last year I learned that this energy, this frequency of pleasure and happiness and excitement and passion and purpose, it's like when it's clear and when it's not coming from a wounded place, because sometimes it comes as an act. I'm not talking about that fakeness. I'm talking about the real stuff where you know truly who you are and you're in celebration of yourself because you love yourself and you accept yourself first. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what we're gonna fucking do. Okay, so I invite you, my loves, if you're feeling this, like, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs this medicine. Like, help us share this. Like, please help us share this. And if you're interested and you want to chat, if you're attracted, if you're feeling the heart pull, my loves, follow that heart of yours. She has all the wisdom. She has your soul plan, your greatest up leveling within her. She has the codes within her. You just need to follow it. All right, my love. So I love you. I thank my beautiful beauty over here for coming live and giving everyone a taste of her medicine, because she's an incredible person too, and has a heart of fucking gold, and is gonna do incredible things, girl. So just watch out, because I got plans for this one. She don't know. All right, my loves. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Bye.